Welcome back to the Deep Dive. I want you to start today by just visualizing something for me. Close your eyes for a second. Well, not if you're driving, obviously. Please don't do that. But just imagine the perfect kitchen. You know the one I'm talking about?
Oh, I know it. It's the kitchen from every Nancy Meyers movie.
Exactly. The massive marble island that's somehow always cool to the touch. You've got the bowl of lemons that looks like it was, I don't know, curated by an art director.
Yes, and the sunlight is hitting the floorboards at that perfect golden hour angle no matter what time of day it is.
Smells like vanilla and something expensive and citrusy. It's a space that just projects total, absolute serenity.
It's the architectural equivalent of a deep breath, really. It's designed to say nothing bad ever happens in here.
Right. It says, we have our 401ks in order, we have a guy for the lawn, and we have basically solved the problem of human suffering. But today, we are taking a sledgehammer to that marble island.
Yeah, I like that.
We are stepping into a world that looks absolutely pristine on the outside. You know, manicured lawns, white picket fences, the whole 9 yards. But it's hiding a rot that is so deep, it's practically radioactive.
We're going to be dissecting the high-stakes, high-pressure ecosystem of wealthy suburbia, a place where, the lawns are perfect because the homeowners are terrified of judgment, and where the neighbors, they aren't just looking out for you, they are watching you.
And specifically, we're unpacking the life of a woman named April Masterson. Now, if you scrolled past April on your phone, you would definitely stop. You'd probably double tap. She is the definition of an influencer mom. She runs this huge YouTube channel called April Sweet Secrets.
Sweet Secrets. That title really does a lot of heavy lifting in this story, doesn't it?
Oh, it's doing the heavy lifting, the cardio, and the cool down. April has thousands of subscribers. She has the handsome, high-powered lawyer husband, this cute, energetic 7-year-old son. And she has built an entire career on telling other people how to live.
Which is, it's a fascinating psychological starting point, right? To position yourself as the expert on domesticity requires a certain level of, narcissism, but also a tremendous amount of anxiety. You have to maintain that avatar 24/7.
And that's the hook. That's what we're getting into. April sells baking secrets. She teaches you how to get that perfect fudge brownie or how to get cappuccino foam just right. But then all of a sudden, the script completely flips.
It really does.
An anonymous stalker enters the chat, literally, and starts threatening to reveal her real secrets. Not the recipe for ganache, but the dirty, messy, life-ruining stuff she keeps hidden behind the Instagram filter.
And what we're going to see today is that this isn't just a story about a mean commenter or a troll. This is a case study in psychological warfare. It's about the surveillance state of the modern neighborhood, the fragility of female friendships in these really competitive environments, and just how quickly perfection can become a prison.
So let's unpack this. We have to start with the subject herself.
Yeah.
April Masterson. Because on YouTube, she is the wholesome housewife. She's always smiling, always in these bright, happy colors. She's the woman you either want to be, or at least a woman you want to bake with.
Right. She projects an image of effortless domestic bliss in the source material we're looking at. She talks about her recipe secrets with this sort of conspiratorial, just between us girls tone.
Yeah, exactly.
Like she has this whole tip about making cappuccinos. She leans into the camera and she's like, the secret to the perfect foam is using ice cold milk right out of the refrigerator.
Which I have to admit, I tried it after reading this. It absolutely works.
It does work. But look at the subtext of that. It's all about control. It's temperature control. It's environmental control. It's about taking something messy like milk, steam, coffee, and forcing it into a perfect, stiff, unmoving peak. That is April's entire life philosophy in a nutshell.
But the reality behind the camera is, well, it's much darker. One of the things that really struck me in the source text is her relationship with the food she actually makes. She bakes these incredible, gooey, rich things. Caramel apple turnovers, triple chocolate cookies. She holds them up to the lens. She takes a tiny, perfect bite. She smiles.
And then the camera cuts?
And what is she spits it out? Or just doesn't eat the rest?
The text implies she's essentially starving herself. It says she's ravenous half the time. And she admits, in her own internal monologue that she can't afford to eat even one of her own creations. She is keeping herself incredibly thin, a size 0, to maintain this perfect image.
Well, that's That is so bleak. It turns the very thing she's famous for into a prop. It's not nourishment, it's just set dressing.
Yeah. It's performative consumption. She is selling the fantasy of indulgence to her audience, while she herself is living in this state of constant restriction. And I think that's crucial for understanding her vulnerability here. When you are hungry, I mean physically hungry, your cortisol levels are up, you're on edge, you're brittle. April isn't just a fake influencer. She's a woman living on the edge of a physical and mental crash.
And she's constantly looking for validation to fill that void. She checks the comments on her videos obsessively. She needs her husband, Elliot, to tell her she looks good. She needs the neighbors to praise her lasagna at the potluck.
It creates this incredibly dangerous dependency. If your self-worth is entirely external, if it's built on likes and comments and the approval of the PTA moms, then you are incredibly easy to destabilize. All an enemy has to do is cut off that supply of praise or, introduce just a little bit of doubt, and the entire structure collapses.
Speaking of the husband, let's look at the family unit. Because if the kitchen is the stage, the family are the supporting actors. And they are not hitting their marks. Let's start with Elliot Masterson.
Elliot, the archetype of the high-value absent male. He's a corporate lawyer, high stress, high pay.
He drives a Tesla, he wears Armani suits, and he seems to treat his home like a hotel he just occasionally checks into.
He's a ghost in his own life. April mentions he's a workaholic, that he misses family dinners, he misses soccer practice. But it feels like it's more than just being busy. There's an emotional distance there that's just vast. He's not really a partner. He's more like a financier for the project of their lives.
And that leaves April solo parenting their son, Bobby. And Bobby's 7. And honestly, he sounds like a handful.
He's definitely struggling. He's energetic, he's trouble-prone, and he's clearly acting out in some way. But instead of seeing this as, a cry for help or just normal 7-year-old behavior, April sees it as a threat to her brand. She is constantly trying to manage him, to sort of smooth his edges so he fits neatly into the picture frame she's trying to create.
Which brings us to the catalyst. The moment the genre of this story shifts from, say, Desperate Housewives to something more like Cape Fear. It happens on a Sunday.
A Sunday afternoon. Prime time for domestic performance.
Right. So April is filming a video. She's in the zone, making brownies. She has the lighting set up just so. She's focused on getting that perfect shot of the melted chocolate. Bobby is supposed to be playing in the backyard.
Yeah.
She's using the electronic babysitter, right? He's got his iPad. He's contained.
She thinks he's contained. She's in that flow state of content creation. And then her phone buzzes.
And, we all get notifications. We ignore most of them. But this one, it stops her cold. It's a text from a blocked number.
And the message is just chilling in its simplicity. It says, "Want to know a secret? Your son isn't where you think he is."
I got literal goosebumps reading that line. Because it uses her own catchphrase against her. Want to know a secret.
It's brilliant in a really sick way. It twists her brand into a weapon. It's the stalker saying, "I know who you are. I watch your videos. I know your secrets. And now I'm going to tell you one of mine."
And that second part. Your son isn't where you think he is. It attacks her on 2 levels. First, there's the immediate primal fear for the safety of her child. But second, it attacks her competence as a mother. It says, you are so busy looking at a camera, you lost track of the most important thing in your life.
Precisely. It's a judgment. So panic sets in. April drops the spatula. She runs to the backyard. The glass door slides open, and the yard is empty. The gate is just slightly ajar.
Okay, I want to pause here and just analyze her reaction. Because this is where the psychology gets really twisted. If my kid goes missing, I am screaming. I am calling 911. I am breaking down doors.
But April doesn't do any of that.
She freezes. She thinks about calling the police, but then she actually hesitates. Why?
She calculates the optics. In that split second of sheer terror, her brain is still running the PR script. She thinks, if I call the police, they will come here, there will be sirens, the neighbors will see, they will ask what I was doing.
She'll have to say, I was filming a brownie video while my son wandered off.
Exactly. She is terrified of the shame of negligence. In that moment, she is more afraid of being judged as a bad mom by her peers than she is of the immediate unknown danger to her son.
That is just, it's tragic. It shows you how deep the programming goes. She's prioritizing her reputation over emergency protocol.
It's the curse of the perfect suburb. You handle things in-house. You don't bring the flashing lights into the driveway unless it is the absolute last resort. You don't air your dirty laundry.
So instead of calling the cops, she runs next door to the new neighbors, the Coopers. She bursts in, frantic, looking completely unhinged.
And there's Bobby, sitting on the carpet in their living room, totally fine, playing with Legos with their son, safe, sound.
So on the surface, it looks like a false alarm, right? Maybe the kid just wandered off. Maybe the stalker got lucky with their timing.
No, there is no luck here. This is surveillance. Think about the panopticon effect. The stalker didn't have to take the child. They didn't touch him. But they knew the exact moment he left the yard. They knew April wasn't looking. And they timed the text to hit exactly when Bobby was out of sight, but before April would have naturally noticed.
It's a power move.
It is a demonstration of omnipotence. It says, I didn't take him this time, but I could have. I am watching you, and you are not in control of your own home. It establishes a level of intimacy that is just profoundly violating.
And that is just the opening salvo. From here, the threats start escalating.
Yeah.
And they get so specific, the stalker starts digging up receipts from April's past.
This is where that concept of secrets becomes a literal weapon. The stalker isn't just sending vague threats like, I'm coming for you. They are sending proof.
Let's talk about the Mark Tanner photo. This is huge.
It is. So, for context, Mark Tanner is the local soccer coach. Seems like a nice guy, popular. And April admits, at least in her internal narrative, that there was a moment. A weak moment.
She was feeling neglected by Elliot. She was lonely, vulnerable. She was at the soccer field after a practice, and she kissed him.
Just once. She's very clear about this in her thoughts. She calls it mostly lip, hardly any tongue, which, again, the specificity there is so hilarious and sad, but she pushed him away. It never went any further. A single mistake.
She categorized it, buried it, moved on, but the stalker unearths it. April gets a text. It's a photo.
And it's not just a photo of her and Mark Tanner. It's the angle of the photo that is so terrifying.
Yes, it was taken through her living room window.
That changes everything, doesn't it?
Completely. Up until this point, the threat could have been purely digital. A hacker, a troll, someone who bought her data. But this photo proves physical presence. Someone was standing in her bushes with a camera, waiting for her to slip up.
It violates the sanctuary of the home. You think you're safe in your living room with the curtains drawn, but you're not. You're on a stage.
And notice the choice of secret here. An affair, even a micro affair, is the ultimate suburban sin. If that photo gets out, Elliot leaves her. Her reputation is completely torched. The stalker is holding a grenade with the pin already pulled.
But they don't just go after her marriage. They go after her career, her very identity.
Which brings us to the culinary school dropout comment.
Ah, yes. This one is fascinating because it's an attack on her credibility.
It's so insidious. So a comment appears on one of her most popular YouTube videos, and it says something like, "Here's a secret you don't know about April Masterson. She dropped out of culinary school after 4 months. Is this the person you want to be taking cooking lessons from?"
Now, objectively, does dropping out of culinary school mean you can't bake a good cookie? Of course not.
Gordon Ramsay would probably yell at you for 4 months and you'd learn a lot, but you can still bake. Exactly. But to April, this is devastating because she suffers from a classic case of imposter syndrome. She presents herself as an expert with a capital E, but deep down she feels like a total fraud. She feels like she's just a housewife playing dress up for the camera.
The stalker knows exactly where to hit her. They know that April is deeply insecure about her credentials, or lack thereof.
It's designed purely to humiliate. It's designed to dismantle her livelihood. If her audience starts to think she's a fake, the sponsorship deals dry up, the ad revenue plummets, the validation stops. It's a direct attack on her ego and her wallet.
And then things get physical. The violence escalates from psychological to actual tangible danger. We have the incident with The Rock.
This is classic terrorization. It happens at night. Elliot is working late. Surprise, surprise. April is home alone. And she's in the shower, which is, a moment of extreme vulnerability.
Absolutely.
She comes downstairs in a towel and finds a jagged rock has been thrown right through her living room window. Shattered glass is everywhere.
And the text that follows, "Did you enjoy my little present, April?" It's taunting. It disrupts the physical safety of the house. Now, the barrier between outside and inside is literally broken.
But the most sophisticated attack, the one that really shows the stalker's brilliance in a twisted Machiavellian way, is the incident with the buried giraffe.
Oh, this one is diabolical. This is where I started thinking, okay, this stalker is not just an amateur. They are playing 4D chess.
Walk us through it.
So April gets another one of these cryptic texts. It leads her to her own backyard. It tells her to dig in a specific spot.
Which, again, she does. She follows the instructions. She is being puppeted by an anonymous number on her phone.
It shows how much control they have over her. So she goes to this patch of fresh dirt near the hydrangeas. She starts digging with her hands, and she hits something soft. She pulls it out. It's Raffi.
And Raffi is the favorite, much-loved stuffed giraffe of the neighbor boy, Owen Cooper, the little boy from next door.
And this thing is filthy, covered in mud. April is just standing there in her perfect backyard, holding this dirty, stolen toy, completely confused. And at that exact moment, who walks into the backyard?
The neighbors. Maria Cooper, Owen's mother. And not just her, but Julie Bressler, the neighborhood gossip queen, the absolute last person you'd want to see.
They catch her red-handed, literally with mud on her hands, holding the stolen goods.
This is gaslighting as a weapon. The stalker stole the toy. The stalker buried it in April's yard. And the stalker must have texted the neighbors to lure them over at the exact moment April would be holding it.
It makes April look completely insane.
It makes her look like a thief. It makes her look like she has a weird psychotic vendetta against a small child.
And think about the social implications of that. If you are caught stealing a child's comfort object and burying it in your garden like a dog with a bone, you are the neighborhood witch. You are done.
It's social poison.
It isolates her completely. The stalker is systematically cutting off all her support systems. First, her confidence with the culinary school comment, then her sense of safety with the rock, and now her social standing with the giraffe. She's being cornered with nowhere to run.
Speaking of social standing, we really need to look at the ecosystem she lives in. Because the neighbors, they are not exactly a support group. It's more like a shark tank with really nice landscaping.
It's a surveillance state disguised as a community. Everyone is watching everyone else all the time, judging.
Let's start with the queen bee, Julie Bressler.
Julie. Every neighborhood has a Julie. She is the PTA president, of course. Her husband, Keith, is a personal injury lawyer, which just feels so appropriate.
She is the enforcer. She's April's best friend, but that term is doing a lot of work there. It's not a friendship of equals.
No, it's a feudal relationship. Julie is the lord. April is the serf. April bakes for her. April agrees with her opinions on school dress codes. April listens to Julie complain about her contractor. The friendship is entirely conditional on April's submission.
Julie is obsessed with rules. The source material mentions she sends out these passive-aggressive neighborhood-wide emails about people walking their dogs on the wrong side of the street, or, get this, parents wearing pajamas to the morning school drop-off.
That kind of control freak nature makes her an immediate suspect.
Yeah.
Why? Because if April is getting too famous, too popular with her YouTube channel, that threatens Julie's social hierarchy.
Right. If the serf suddenly becomes a minor celebrity, the old queen have to find a way to take her down.
And we see how quickly Julie can turn. Later in the story, when things go south at the carnival, Julie doesn't offer a shred of support. She offers a lawsuit. She goes from, let's have wine on the patio, to, I'm calling my husband's firm in a nanosecond.
It really raises the question, could the stalker be a frenemy? Is this whole elaborate, terrifying campaign just about jealousy?
It's a very strong motive. But she's not the only one. We have the newcomers, the Coopers. They moved into the house next door, which is the murder house, a detail we have to get to. Let's talk about Maria Cooper.
Maria. Okay, on the surface, she seems so sweet. She manages a high-end clothing boutique called Helena's. She bonds with April over having sons the same age. She seems like a potential ally.
But Maria is, let's just say, deceptively complex. There's a real darkness under that friendly facade.
The shoplifting incident. This is a pivotal moment for understanding Maria's character. I had to read this part twice because it was just so cold and calculated.
It's chilling. So April is in the boutique one day. A young woman walks in. This woman is a former babysitter who was involved in a scandal with another neighbor's husband. She's a social outcast.
She's the town pariah, the homewrecker.
Exactly. So she's vulnerable. She has no allies. Maria sees her shopping. Maria walks over, chats with her, smiles at her, helps her pick something out. And then with the sleight of hand of a professional magician, Maria slips a very expensive diamond necklace into the girl's open purse.
She plants it.
She frames her. And then she just waits. She lets the girl walk towards the door. She waits for the security sensors to beep. And she just watches with this placid expression as the security guard grabs this girl, humiliates her in front of everyone, and calls the police.
And April is watching this happen. She saw Maria do it, and when she asked Maria about it later, kind of horrified, What does Maria say?
She just smiles and she says, "I didn't do anything. We were just upholding the law."
That is, it's sociopathic behavior.
It reveals a profound moral disconnect. Maria views herself as an agent of karma. She decided that girl was bad because of the affair, so she felt completely justified in destroying her life with a felony charge.
So if she can do that to a relative stranger,
Hmm.
what could she do to April if she felt she'd been wronged?
Exactly. It proves capability. Maria's capable of framing people. She is capable of lying to the police. She is capable of destroying a reputation without even blinking. The buried giraffe incident has Maria's fingerprints all over it, metaphorically speaking. It is the exact same MO. Frame the target, stand back, and watch them burn while looking completely innocent.
And there is more evidence against Maria. April finds a burner phone in Maria's purse.
A flip phone in this day and age.
If you see someone with a flip phone today, that means one of two things. You are a major drug dealer, or you are up to no good.
Or you are running a stalking campaign that requires untraceable texts. April just catches a glimpse of the screen and she sees a text. When can we meet?
It's so ambiguous. Is
Yeah.
she having an affair, or is she communicating with an accomplice? Either way, it's a huge red flag.
And we can't talk about Maria without talking about her husband, Sean Cooper.
Oh, Sean, the handsome contractor, the man's man of the neighborhood.
He is the perfect foil to Elliot. Elliot is soft, corporate, absent. Sean is hands-on. He's out there raking leaves, fixing the fence, playing soccer with the kids in the front yard. He is physically present in a way Elliot never is.
And April. Well, April definitely notices. The source text is very explicit about this. She mentions how good he looks shirtless when he's doing yard work. She's constantly bringing him fresh apple turnovers. She finds any excuse she can to go over there.
It's the classic suburban sublimation of desire. She can't actually have an affair. She's too perfect for that. So she channels all that frustrated longing into baked goods. Here, have a pastry. It's code for please pay attention to me.
But Sean rejects her.
He does. At first he's friendly, but by the time of the fall carnival, Sean has gone completely cold. He refuses her food. He looks at her with what she perceives as disgust.
Which creates a motive for humiliation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If Sean realized April had a crush and was repulsed by it, or, more likely, if Maria realized it, that could easily trigger a vendetta. You want my husband? Fine. I'll destroy your life.
It's a very potent mix of jealousy and territorialism.
Now, we have to mention the house the Coopers moved into, because it adds this whole layer of, like, gothic horror to the entire street. It used to belong to a woman named Mrs. Kirkland.
The Mrs. Kirkland mystery. This is this dark little detail that's just tucked into the narrative. Mrs. Kirkland was the elderly neighbor who died after falling down the stairs.
It was ruled an accidental death by the coroner. But April runs into Mrs. Kirkland's niece, a woman named Nancy, and Nancy drops a bombshell.
She tells April that her aunt, Mrs. Kirkland, was absolutely obsessed with her Life Alert necklace. She never took it off. She was terrified of falling. She wore it in the shower, in bed, everywhere.
But when she was found dead at the bottom of the stairs, she wasn't wearing it.
It was found tucked away in a drawer upstairs.
Nancy even makes this dark joke. She says, if this were a movie, I'd say for sure somebody pushed her.
It just casts this pall over the Coopers. They moved into that house right after the death. Did they just get a good deal because it's technically a murder house? Or is there a more sinister connection? It implies that violence isn't new to this street. It's built into the very foundations of these perfect homes.
It definitely sets a tone. Death is just one staircase fall away in this neighborhood.
Okay, so let's pivot back to April's own home front. Because the threat isn't just outside, it really feels like it's rotting from the inside out. We need to talk more about Elliot.
Elliot is, I don't know, I get such bad vibes from him. He's such a strong suspect for me.
He's the classic gaslight suspect.
He is never home. He claims he's working these insane hours, but April has no way to verify it. He's built this wall of secrecy around his professional life.
And he has a gatekeeper, Brianna, the secretary.
Right. So April tries to do the good wife thing one day. She packs up Bobby and a lunch, and she goes to visit Elliot at work to surprise him. And Brianna physically blocks her at the reception desk. She's described as young, gorgeous, and incredibly hostile. She just says, he's in a meeting, you can't go in.
But then, as April's leaving, completely defeated, she sees them in the parking lot from her call.
This scene made my blood boil.
Yeah.
Elliot is standing by his Tesla. Brianna is standing intimately close to him. And she reaches out. and she fixes his tie.
That gesture. It's so small, but it's nuclear. You do not fix your boss's tie unless you have a relationship that goes far beyond professional. That is an act of possession. It implies a level of physical familiarity that crosses every single HR boundary.
And Elliot lets her do it. He doesn't pull away. He just stands there and lets it happen.
Precisely. And then later, April catches him on a secret phone call late at night. She walks into the room, and he immediately whispers, "Gotta go," and hangs up. Classic cheater behavior.
When she asks to borrow his phone later to look up a recipe or something trivial, he panics. He gets defensive. He guards that device with his life.
And here is where the stalker comes back in with perfect surgical timing. The stalker knows this is happening.
They send a text. "Too bad. You don't know the secret to making your husband happy. Unlike Courtney Burns."
Courtney Burns, a name from the past, a reference to a previous affair, or maybe an old girlfriend he never got over.
The point is, the stalker knows Elliot's romantic history. They know about the cracks in the marriage.
This raises a really terrifying possibility. Is Elliot the stalker?
Why on earth would he stalk his own wife?
To gaslight her into a breakdown. If he wants a divorce, but he wants to ensure he gets full custody of Bobby and keeps the house, he needs April to look unstable. He needs her to look like an unfit mother. What better way than to stage an elaborate stalking campaign that makes her look paranoid, hysterical, and completely crazy?
Oh, that is dark. I'm going to drive you insane so I can take the kid and all our assets. It's Gaslight meets Kramer versus Kramer.
Or, conversely, is he just a simple cheater who is being watched by the same person watching April? Is the stalker targeting the entire family unit, not just her?
It just complicates everything. April can't trust the police, she can't trust her neighbors, and she can't even trust the man sleeping next to her in her own bed.
And just when you think she has absolutely nowhere left to turn, she decides to visit her mother, and you think, okay, surely her mother will be a source of comfort.
Wrong. That visit goes completely off the rails.
Her mother, Janet Portland, is in a memory care unit called Shady Oaks.
And April goes there to film a wholesome segment for her show. This is just so telling. Even in this moment of crisis, she's thinking about content. She wants to make a no-bake cheesecake with her mom. She wants to show her audience, look at me, I'm a good daughter too.
It's just another performance. She sets up the tripod, she puts a pretty apron on her mother, but her mother, she goes off script.
She has dementia, so at first she's just confused. But then her eyes fix on the camera lens. The little red light is on. And she looks right into it and says, "April is my daughter. And she is pure evil."
Pure evil. And then she starts screaming, accusing April of keeping her a prisoner. "She locked me in here to get rid of me."
And April tries to laugh it off for the camera, "Oh, Mom, you're so funny." But her mother's getting more and more agitated. The doctor has to come in and give her a sedative.
Now, we know about the dementia. Paranoia is a very common symptom. But the intensity of that accusation, pure evil, it sticks with you.
It really makes you wonder, is April an unreliable narrator? Is there a kernel of truth to what her mother is saying? Did she just dump her mom in a home to get her out of the way so she could live her perfect life?
It adds this crucial layer of doubt. Maybe April isn't the helpless victim we think she is. Maybe the wholesome housewife really is a facade for something much, much colder.
So we have threats from the outside, betrayal on the inside, and a crumbling family history. All of this pressure cooks and cooks until we get to the breaking point. The school's fall carnival.
The fall carnival. The high holy day of the suburban calendar.
This is where social status is minted and reinforced. And April has gone all out. She has volunteered to run the entire bake sale. She's been baking for days, thousands of calories of sugar and flour. She's also organized these silent auction Yankee tickets, spa days, you name it. She is ready to reclaim her crown as the perfect mom.
But the stalker is ready too, and this next attack. This is the one that truly impressed me with its elegant cruelty. It's not physical. It's a form of biological warfare.
The cyber attack.
A post appears on the official school Facebook page for all the parents. It's designed to look like it comes directly from April's account.
And it says something to the effect of, "So sorry I can't be there early to set up everyone. I've been vomiting for the last 12 hours with a nasty stomach bug. But don't worry, the brownies are all packed up and still good."
It is absolute genius. It targets the most primal human instinct, disgust, the fear of contagion.
So April shows up at the carnival bake sale table. She feels totally fine. She looks great. But the post is already out there. It's gone viral among the moms.
And the reaction is immediate and devastating. Mothers see the post on their phones. They look at April. They look at her beautifully arranged brownies and cookies. and they recoil in horror.
It creates a literal quarantine zone around her table. No one will buy her food. No one will even come near her. She is radioactive.
And the worst part is she doesn't know why at first. She's standing there smiling, offering people cookies, and parents are literally yanking their children away from her as if she's Typhoid Mary.
It is social suicide. The stalker took the one thing she is proud of, her baking, and turned it into a source of revulsion and fear.
It strips her of her utility to the group. If you are the baker and your food is perceived as poison, you have no value. You are expelled from the tribe.
And while she is standing there, completely humiliated, surrounded by trays of uneaten brownies, disaster strikes in the bouncy house.
The bouncy house incident. The physical manifestation of all the chaos.
Her son, Bobby, is in there. Julie's son, Leo, is in there.
Yeah.
And Maria's son, Owen, is in there. It's a pressure cooker of hyperactive kids.
Suddenly, there's a scream. Leo, Julie's son, falls from the very top of the inflatable slide. And it is a bad fall.
Blood everywhere, a broken arm. It is a scene of absolute parental horror.
And in the silence that follows, the finger-pointing begins. Owen Cooper, Maria's son, stands up, and he points directly at Bobby.
And he says Bobby pushed him.
No, nobody actually saw it happen. It was chaos, and Bobby denies it immediately. He's screaming, "No! Owen did it! Owen pushed him!"
It's a classic he said. He said between two 7-year-olds. But who does the neighborhood believe?
They look at April, the woman with the vomit virus, the woman whose son is known to be a bit wild, the woman they just caught with a buried giraffe. And they look at Marie and Julie. The verdict is instantaneous.
They believe Owen. The entire social circle, led by a hysterical Julie, turns on Bobby. Julie is screaming at April. She threatens to have her arrested for assault vicariously through her 7-year-old son.
"I'm calling the police. I'm suing you for his medical bills." It is total social warfare.
And April is completely ostracized. She looks around the crowd, desperate for a single friendly face, an ally. She makes eye contact with Sean Cooper.
And this is the dagger to the heart. Sean just looks at her with pure, unadulterated disgust. He gathers up his family and walks away without a word.
It's the final rejection. She is isolated, accused, and utterly alone. Her perfect life has completely and finally disintegrated.
But April still can't help herself. She tries to fix this catastrophic social rupture the only way she knows how.
With a pie.
She goes home. She bakes an apple pie, a symbol of wholesome apology.
And Elliot ruins her. For once, he's giving practical advice. He's a lawyer. He says, April, do not go over there. She just threatened to sue us. Every interaction from now on is potential evidence. Stay away.
But April operates on what you might call mom logic, not legal logic. She genuinely believes that food is a peace offering that can override the legal system. She thinks, if I just bring her a warm pie, we can sit down and talk this out like friends.
So she ignores her husband's warning. She walks down the street. She goes to Julie's pristine, perfect house.
And that is where our source text leaves us. April Masterson standing on the doorstep of the woman who wants to destroy her, holding a pie as a white flag, while a stalker almost certainly watches her every move.
It is a terrifying final image. So let's try to synthesize this. We need to look at this web of lies here. Who is really doing this?
Let's review the stalker's motivation and knowledge. This person knows everything.
They know about the kiss with Mark. They know about Elliot's history with Courtney Burns. They know exactly where Bobby is at any given moment. They knew the layout of her backyard well enough to bury that giraffe. This is intimate knowledge.
The attacks are so highly specific. They are designed to humiliate the culinary school, isolate the vomit post, and terrify the kidnapping threat. This isn't a random troll who found her address online. This is personal.
It feels like pure distilled hatred.
Let's look at the frenemy dynamics again, because I think the answer is there. Maria seems to be at the center of this storm.
Maria found the buried toy. Her son accused Bobby of the push. She has that burner phone.
And she has the capability we discussed earlier. The shoplifting frame-up proves she enjoys destroying people who she feels have broken the rules. Did April break a rule? Maybe the rule was getting too popular, or maybe it was coveting her husband.
And then there's Julie. She is the enforcer. She absolutely benefits from April's downfall because it secures her own power at the top of the social ladder.
And just the sheer betrayal of it all. April finally realizes that the very people she bakes for, the people she tries so hard to please with free turnovers and casseroles, they turned on her in an instant.
It highlights the absolute fragility of her status. She thought she was a cherished member of the tribe, but the moment she showed weakness, the tribe circled and consumed her.
It is a classic scapegoat mechanism. The suburb needs a villain to rally against. They can all feel righteous and superior. April became the designated villain.
So what does this all mean for us? Why should we care about this story of April Masterson?
Because April represents the anxiety of perfection that I think we all feel to some degree in the age of social media. We all curate our lives, we all filter our photos, we all hide our dirty laundry. April just took it to a professional, monetized level.
And she is paying the ultimate price for it. She's trapped in a house with a husband who might be cheating on her, in a neighborhood where everyone hates her, being hunted by someone who knows her every move and every thought.
The central irony is the theme of the whole story. She made a career out of sharing sweet secrets, but the bitter secrets of her real life are what is being used to destroy her.
It really makes you think about how fragile that kind of suburban status is. One day you are the queen of the bake sale. The next day you are the community pariah.
It connects to the bigger picture of community in the modern age. We think our neighbors are our safety net. We think if I'm in trouble, I'll run next door for help. But in this story, the neighbors are the prosecutors. The safety net is actually a trap.
So here is the provocative question I want to leave you with, the one that I can't get out of my head. We know April has secrets. She is hiding the kiss, the culinary school, the family tension.
But the stalker seems to know things that April herself doesn't even know, or maybe things she refuses to admit to herself.
Exactly. The real question isn't just who is doing this. The question is, what did April actually do to deserve this level of sophisticated, relentless vengeance? Because you don't go to these lengths for a burnt brownie or a petty jealousy.
Someone believes April deserves to suffer in a very profound way, and they are systematically dismantling her life piece by piece to ensure that she does. And the most terrifying part is, they are winning.
On that cheery note, I'm going to go check my windows, lock my doors, and maybe bake a pie. But I think I'll check the ingredients twice.
And maybe check your backyard while you're at it. And your husband's phone. Just in case.
Good call. Thank you for listening to this deep dive into the dark side of suburbia. Look a little closer at your own neighbors before the next time we meet. You never really know what they're burying in the backyard.
Or what they're texting about you right now.
Take care, everyone. Stay safe out there.